Hi, I'm Ernie Franzen. Welcome to the Journal-Sentinel Editorial Board's 4th and State. Next week, the state will start its second wolf hunt, and this season, dogs could be a part of that hunt. Here to talk about that issue are Patricia McConnell, a PhD zoologist and a certified applied animal behaviorist, and Adrian Trevis, associate professor at the Nelson Institute for Environmental Studies at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And you teach at Madison as well.
That's right, in zoology.
So briefly, can you talk about your concerns about the dog hunt, the wolf hunt, and what it means for Wisconsin? Patricia, you want to start?
Sure. My concern basically is that the wolf hunt is an example of a very small group of people getting tremendous political influence and creating a hunt that is, as Adrian can attest to, neither based scientifically or biologically sound, but also brings up some serious safety and ethical issues. The use of free-running hounds in the wolf hunt brings up a kind of a Pandora's box of issues, from basically what happens when these dogs and wolves engage, and the argument is, well, they won't. Of course, the law says the dogs are only allowed to track and trail, but I'm a professional dog trainer. I have working dogs who work a long way away from me, and I can tell you it's virtually impossible to teach hounds working 4 to 5 miles away, say, from their owners, to stop when they engage a wolf and stay until the owners come. So they're welfare-related issues, both in terms of how the dogs are trained, interactions between the wildlife, and a bigger, I think the most important question is, how is it that a very small group of hunters who don't actually represent most hunters in Wisconsin, you know, there's a great tradition of responsible, ethical hunting in this state, and I've been very proud of that, and that doesn't involve blood sports, it doesn't involve actual violent encounters between animals, and this does. And so there are concerns about ethics and welfare and violation of anti-cruelty laws. And there's some concerns about what kind of dogs might be brought in. Is it really safe to have these dogs running around the woods of Wisconsin? So there are a lot of issues at this.
Now, last year there was a hunt, but no dogs were involved last year.
Correct.
And am I right about this? This would be the first regulated dog hunt of wolves in the United States, like ever.
That's correct. There's virtually no precedent for this. And as Adrian will attest, and I'll turn it over to him, there don't appear to be any mechanisms for evaluating it. It's just a sort of a done deal.
And your concern is that there will be, before we get there, but your concern is that there will be violent confrontations between the dog packs and wolves.
It is virtually inevitable. I mean, there have been 23 dogs killed by wolves this year who weren't involved in wolf hunting at all. So, and hundreds of cases actually of dog-wolf interactions in which dogs have been injured. So I think it's inevitable. Okay. It's truly inevitable.
Over to you.
Well, thanks for the opportunity to talk, Ernie.
Sure.
So this is a historic wolf hunt. It's the first regulated public wolf hunt Wisconsin's ever had. And I think that calls for caution and what we call an adaptive management approach, which means learning from our mistakes, learning from our successes, and modifying our techniques as a result. My principal concerns, and they're shared by many scientists, have to do with the design of Wisconsin's wolf hunt. I'm not opposed to hunting, I'm not opposed to wolf hunting. I am opposed to this current design that we see here in Wisconsin, and those concerns relate principally to sustainability and depredation management.
Is there a problem with wolves attacking farm animals? The size of the population is much bigger than they had anticipated or that they had planned for. Is there a problem?
So since 1982, farmers have lost livestock to wolf attacks, either injuring or killing their farm animals. That's a concern for our economy, for our hardworking farmers, and they deserve protection. Question is this hunt the way to protect them from wolves? There's an easy assumption that the number of wolves is what dictates attacks on farm animals, but there's actually no good scientific evidence for that. And one of the problems we encounter with the current Wisconsin wolf design is that there is very little scientific evidence for any element of it. Either its sustainability, or its ability to deal with the depredation problems that we've been talking about for farm animals. And we've both done public opinion surveys and studied depredations across the state. We can predict where livestock are going to be depredated with a high degree of accuracy. More than 90% of the incidents occur in places we've identified as high risk. But the current hunting zone design for the Wisconsin wolf hunt does not target enough of the hunting effort towards those problem areas. So I'm concerned that the hardworking Wisconsin farmers that produce our beef and many of our other livestock products, that they're not going to get the remedies that they need for wolf attacks. And then there's the issue of sustainability. The public has indicated that in our 2004 survey, both within and outside of wolf range, the public's indicated that depredation is a serious concern, and second comes sustainability. And in my group's modeling of the harvest of wolves, the current quota is too high. It's not going to be sustainable beyond 2015.
What was the quota last year and what is it this year?
The quota last year for the non-tribal hunter was 116. 117 wolves were taken, so it just went over by 1. And this year the quota is 251 for non-tribal hunters. So they more than doubled the quota. And I would note that the DNR, brass increased the quota over the recommendations of the Wolf Advisory Committee, so more than doubling the quota from last year. And that's what triggered my group's concern and our research and analysis to determine if it's sustainable. And there's a very real risk that we don't know what we're doing. It's the first time we've done a wolf hunt, a public regulated wolf hunt in the state. And there's a real risk that when we don't know what we're doing, we misstep. And that's why I would call for more caution. We do not want the species put back on the state list of threatened species, or heaven forbid, put on the federal list of endangered species again, because we've overhunted them. And that would be a tremendous waste of taxpayer money, a big waste of time. And it would be a black eye for Wisconsin around the world. For years, I've been bragging about Wisconsin when I go talk in Sweden or Finland or Minnesota. And now Minnesota is showing...
As you should.
As I should. And Minnesota is showing the kind of caution I'd encourage Wisconsin to show. For example, last year, Minnesota held a wolf hunt. It was moderate compared to ours, about 10% of their population. And they discovered an unexpected decline in their wolf population, so they sharply reduced their quota. And I think we should learn from our neighbors' experience and not make the same mistakes.
So if you were in charge of the wolf hunt, you would reduce the quota and you would eliminate dogs from the hunt. Right?
Yeah, the evidence is quite clear that dogs in pursuit of coyotes, bobcats, bears, they run afoul of wolves. They get injured or killed. 227 have done so in recent history, and it's quite clear that that will continue, and it seems to violate animal fighting, rules against animal fighting that are on the books in Wisconsin.
Yeah, and I think if I could just add, I think most people, I didn't realize that beyond the wolf hunt, there are many other reasons that wolves die. There are Fish and Wildlife agents, for example, who if a farmer does suffer from depredation, agents can come in and take care of those wolves. So there's the 251 number actually isn't the number of wolves that will be killed. If you add on the number killed specifically because of targeted depredations and accidents, vehicle collisions,
disease and so forth,
etc. So it's important to know that's not the total number of wolves that will die. That's just one small aspect of it.
Right. Well, thanks. Thanks to Patricia McConnell and Adrian Trevis. Appreciate your coming, and thank you for watching Fourth and State.